Hello and welcome to episode 355 of the Mike White's podcast. I'm Jack, as always joined by KC.
Nail it.
We're going to be really professional here. One, if you can hear KC's fan going mental on his computer, don't worry about it, because I can, so it's probably going to come through. Two, should have done that before I started. There's no way around it. Leeds 0, Brentford 0. That was not much of a game.
No, there was very little of note to say about that game. I mean, one thing I will say is after the Palace game, it was quite nice to have. Right. I was about to say something complimentary about the referee there. Aside from Kelleher's, we need to have a team talk, so I'm going to have a lay down incident, which isn't really on the referee.
No, that's on the current setup of the laws of the game.
It was quite nice to have a referee that you didn't really need to talk about.
No. Well, I think it becomes quite an easy game to referee
when no one
nothing
does anything.
happens. I've just had a brief look at the actual stats. Like, I know XG varies place to place, but it was 0.54 for us, 0.46 for them on BBC. So one between two teams. But that's with us having, let's see, that's with us having 14 shots and them having 6. So it's one, but it's 0.05 per shot. And it's not like that's carried by some massive chance. Like, there was no big chance for either team.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a shot that I think would have given me the most excitement, is it the deflected Tanaka shot from the edge of the area?
Metro had a decent one early on that Keller has saved. Ampadu had one that he struck really well in the second half, but it was absolutely straight at him. Then Okafor had one after he came on.
Yeah.
And for them, not being a dick, I genuinely don't remember.
Yeah, there was so little happened.
It was like, I've got a thing here that I've just noted down of 0-0 fair question mark, and of course it was. Like, it's not even a discussion, is it really?
Yeah, that game could have been played till midnight, and I don't think it was going any other way.
Yeah. So we'll come on to things elsewhere afterwards, but in and of itself, how do you feel about that as a result?
It's tough to say because they are seven. They genuinely have a very good chance of getting European football this year.
Well, I believe that because Chelsea had got beat and someone else screwed up as well, I think if they'd have won that, they'd have gone 5th.
But it's one of those things where I believe they've only lost. It's something like they've lost 1 in their last 6, but they've only won 3 of their last 10.
So they're the top half us.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we're not losing much, but we're not winning either.
Yeah, and which I think tells you a lot about the mid-table. Pretty much anyone below Arsenal. At this point, is that everyone?
Yeah, there's Arsenal, Man City, and everyone else.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that just aren't putting runs together, or in the case of Bournemouth, will win 6, will lose 7, then win 10, and just go on odd runs. But yeah, so it's in isolation that it's a point against a team that's doing well in the league. In the context of the game, I would say it was a disappointing point because I don't think they really offered a lot.
Yeah, I was the same. Like, when we were watching it, we were just sat around going, we're not particularly going for this. Neither were Brentford. And it was an okay point for both, while being a disappointing point for both on paper. But with us being at home, I think it's on us to make the running in those situations. And like, basically, as we said, there was no changes. You know, he played Metro again, but it was more off the left, so he wasn't particularly getting involved. We really missed Goodmanson.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Justin was perfectly fine. I'm not criticising his performance, but he kept having to check back onto his right. He did go past on the outside a couple of times and try and get a ball in. He did win a corner or two doing that, but we really missed that outlet of someone who could get by on the outside and actually get away.
Yeah. I think you coupled that with, I thought Brendan Aronson had one of his poorer games for a while, and I think physically he just got bullied out of it.
I haven't watched it because I'm not mad enough at Leeds to be in a position to be watching it. But I did see that like there was legitimate sort of compilations of him getting knocked off the ball floating around Twitter.
Yeah, and it the positive you'll take out of it is that it wasn't like a couple of years ago where he'd have stayed down, rolled around, and
Mm.
they'd have gone up the other end and scored or anything. But yeah, it just wasn't the game for him. Um, so it was frustrating because I've certainly said before you've had that evidence of playing Metro and Calvert Lewin as a front two. It works. Like we've seen it, and he seems so loath to try it again.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I thought we were gonna once I saw Brentford's team because Brentford picked Ethan Pinnock
hmm.
in. Damsgaard was injured, and they may have made more changes, but they basically brought in Pinnock and went to a 3-5-2 and played Sharda and Thiago up top. I was like, well, if they're doing that, the best thing for us to do is match them up.
Yeah,
Because I thought that we could actually win that midfield battle if we matched them up. But because we sort of had Aronson on the fringes and Metro on the fringes, they then had a 3-on-2 advantage in midfield. And not that they dominated midfield or anything, because they didn't. But neither team did. It was just sort of there. Like changes wise, again, with Tanaka and Okafor for Aronson and Metcha, 69 minutes. Ooh, a minute early. And that made no real difference. Okafor looked a little bit brighter, but I couldn't say he did enough to really like make a real difference. Which is his first game back after a load of injuries. Fair enough. It was enough to get him into the Switzerland squad as a late call up though. And then Dan James for Pascal Struijk, 83rd minute. Now this did make a difference. We had way more threat with him on, with the extra forward player on, and he got into some good areas and drove us forward, and whipped the crowd up a bit, and it did make a difference. Unfortunately, his crossing was terrible. Like
yeah,
he put in one good left-footed one that I think got headed out for a corner. The rest of them were really easily cleared. But I'm always willing to be like, all right, but that change did work. The execution just didn't work. Like it did help us. We got that last 10 minutes was all us. We just didn't actually create any clear-cut chances with it.
yeah. I kind of almost wish we just went and just had your back five and just went right. We've just got four attackers on the pitch now to finish with. Just get some balls into the box. But yeah, like you say, it was nice to see Tanaka.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't played much in the Premier League recently.
No, and when he brought Tanaka on, it was like he played in midfield and stepped forward a bit. But just nothing got going. My main thought when I was watching that last 10 minutes of Dan James getting into good areas down the right and putting in bad crosses, my real thought was penny for the thoughts of Willie Nonto.
Well,
I mean, what was our goal against Brentford at their place?
Mm.
Willie Nonto getting into a bit of space down the right and putting in an absolute peach of a ball for Calvert Lewin. Now, that might not have happened. Nonto might have been crap. He has barely played. But I was watching that game, and especially when they dropped right in. So there was no real space in behind for James to run into. It was all in front of them. And I was thinking, if you're in that situation, Nonto is a far better option than James. If they're playing with a high line, yeah, go with James. Let him get in behind. But I am baffled as to how little football he plays.
Yeah, I think I said to you before, I don't quite understand this this run of we had the Christmas period where Calvert-Lewin got pretty much all his goals,
Mm.
and so much of that came from play down the right wing, where we had wingers playing like wingers, or
Yeah,
Brendan Aronson playing like a winger.
yeah, it was weird because that was the bit where the left side was playing really well, but all the goals were coming down the right.
Yeah, and again, we just so we had that we had the good performances. Those first couple of performances as Brendan Aronson is just playing off Calvert Lewin, and he's really dived into that and gone. I like this. It's and I don't know whether it's his almost a comfort blanket of this is how I get Brendan Aronson into this team.
Mm.
But and I get that obviously losing Okafor is a blow. Like
Yeah,
he is, even though I don't know if I could go so far as to say is he's had a good season, but he is a good player.
yeah, and I think we've sort of all retroactively realised he was doing a better job than we realised.
Mm.
Like we've definitely missed him.
But and and clearly there are trust issues. But if you are playing with a right-footed winger who's going to come inside from the left, and you have Willie Nonto there who plays the same role, albeit probably not as good a player, but fits right into that role, and you don't have to change anything.
I definitely think if you play if your thing is to play them wide, I'd rather have Nonto than Metcha.
Yeah,
If you're
like
going to play him as a front two, fair enough, play Metcha.
yeah, and we like. Whereas the evidence, and again, hold my hands up. I am not a professional football manager, amateur.
FM would disagree.
Um, but from the evidence I've seen comparatively of Metcha playing off the left hand side, I think we are a worse team when that's the choice we make. I think Metcha is less effective, and it very much feels like square pegs.
Yeah.
But you have the options on the bed. Like if you want to go with the front three and play Calvert Lewin and two wingers, brilliant. You've got Aronson and James who can play on the right, and you've got Metcha, Nonto who can play on the left. But he seems so low to use. Dan James, I sort of get because he's been coming back from injury. But Nonto's been there that whole time.
Yeah.
And he just gets the right, there's 10 minutes left, go make something happen.
What he needs really is to like score 2 goals against West Ham in the cup.
That would be ideal. If you can have that Jack Harrison performance.
Just have a game where suddenly it becomes harder for him to ignore. But like obviously there's a positive. It's another clean sheet, 2 in a row. If you're down the bottom, you cannot sniff at clean sheets when you're down the bottom of the league. That is very good. But it's also 4 Premier League games without scoring.
Yeah.
And I would argue with the fixtures we've had, there's only really the Man City one where you can say, fair enough, don't worry about that one.
Yeah, and there is, well, I suppose it's still the same problem. Obviously, we missed the penalty against Crystal Palace, but it's eerily similar to how it looked at the start of the season.
Yeah, it's
in
blunt,
terms of the
isn't
chance create. And like I say, it's the frustrating thing is that we have the players available to put out the team that played against Liverpool, against Chelsea, and we just don't seem to look at that anymore. And I really don't understand why. Where if you're looking to try and remain solid at the back, right? You've got your back five. Play a front two, have Aronson in the middle, who has the legs, compress and contract their centre mids, and you've got an out ball and something to play off of, and we've seen it work, and it just, I just don't understand why he seems so low to try it again.
No, but it sort of retroactively became a better point the next day, just about. Villa 2, West Ham 0, Spurs 0, Forest 3. I suppose really, like, going into the game, I would have probably thought, like, I would have said Spurs winning is better, just because they were a point in front of Forest. But Spurs were that bad that it does make you go, God, I wonder if they're just going to fall to bits. And the key result was West Ham getting beat, because it does mean that point takes us a point further away.
Yeah.
So 15, 4 points clear of West Ham. 7 games to go. We also have 10 goals on West Ham, which, you know, it is basically another point.
It doesn't
say, like,
mathematically. It. I'm not really much more comfortable than I was before, but yeah, like you say, at least it all kind of went our way in regards of it was always going to work out for us, Forest playing Spurs anyway. There was always going to be some positive for us from that. West Ham was a little bit surprising purely because they've been in very good form recently. Villa have not.
I mean, we said it when the injury happened. They're missing Somerville.
Yeah, they created very little in that game. It was all Villa.
You see, I watched Spurs Forest because these two were on at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah.
I thought Spurs Forest would be a better game, and it probably was. I thought it was a game that I thought might end up 4-3 because of how bad they both can be defensively and how much pressure's on the game. But Forest actually just were really competent, and that's what it took.
Yeah.
Because we have been saying the whole time, Forest squad is good and they shouldn't be anywhere near where they are.
No, and they just look pretty composed the whole time. Did Forest? Sorry, Spurs with another tactical change.
Having played all right in midweek, changed the formation again. Xavi Simons has one of his best games for Spurs by all accounts against Atletico. Drop him. I mein, do you think that they might make a change in this window? Obviously, away from football, Igor Tudor's dad died. It was like probably the day of the game because he like ran off at full time, didn't
he?
Like, he's probably needed at home with all of this. They know it's not working. It's a bit like when we, as much as we didn't like it, when we got Allardyce, we were like, well, this definitely isn't working. It's probably worth trying something different just in case it works. They're kind of in a similar situation of Tudor definitely isn't working. So they might as well try something, even if it's something that they don't like. Because it's something that could work is better than something that definitely isn't.
Yeah, and like you say, it's not working for him there. Outside of you got a good point against Liverpool, and the second leg performance against Atletico Madrid was markedly improved. But on the whole, this has not been a good run for them. I don't know, he's not been there that long, but they have not won a game this calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. It's, by the next league game, it's April.
Yeah. It does. I know, obviously, they've got a lot of players away, but it probably makes more sense to make a change now that you've got a 2-week gap. I think they're out of all competitions now.
Yeah.
So they just have 7 games left to save their season. And I know the running theme through their season has been injuries. I know they've had some big injuries. But there is no way that team they have available there should be. Like, if it was 10th, I'd sort of go, yeah, fair enough. You've got some big players missing.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I look at is that you've got a group of players there who've been playing European football, and obviously a lot of them last year, European winners, that have never really faced anything like this. Like they were crap last season, but they weren't ever in a relegation fight because of how much worse the other teams were.
Yeah.
And whether it's that you just have these players that now don't really know how to cope with it. Like,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't.
I'm just having a flick through, and I think that you're right. I mean, Dom Solanke has,
Who's been missing
and
most of the season.
Richarlison has when he was at Watford.
I forget about him at Watford.
But I think that's it. I mean, Kevin Danso's early career, I don't know, because like he was in like MK Don's academy and stuff before he went out to Germany. But yeah, and Conor Gallagher as well. He, in his loan spells, like the Charlton one, they weren't great and stuff like. Goodness me, Casey, that fan is going mental. It's weird because you've got earphones on. I'll be able to hear it more than you.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Yeah. But yeah, do you think that this is a good time for the international break for us, or a bad one? I suppose it depends who gets injured, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I was going to say Calvert-Lewin getting called up was one of those nice. It was really nice to hear chants of England's number 9.
Yeah,
that was nice. At the same time, I could have really done with them not picking him just so he had a couple of weeks of not playing.
Is he one of the ones that's only there for half of it?
I think so.
Yeah, because with it being a big squad, they are sort of resting him and stuff, which probably is quite sensible, really, and getting a look at everyone. But yeah, hopefully he gets 20 minutes, gets a goal off the bench, and comes home just fit and firing. That's
Yeah,
the ideal.
but
They're like these. It's on Thursday, and there's Wales and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I think
all
so.
in playoff games. So I mean, I'll probably watch Wales because that's got all the Leeds representation. So yeah, we'll watch that, and that'll probably be that'll probably be a decent game. And then there's the really big one, which I need to check. There it is. Yeah, also Thursday, 10 p.m. The really big one from a Leeds point of view: World Cup playoffs, Bolivia v Suriname. Suriname with J. Roy Grott in the squad. More importantly, with Joe Peru. I'm genuinely.
What a front two.
I'm not even up early for work on Friday. I'm definitely watching that game. Like 100%.
Oh, bless. Because J. Roy Grott, is he settled somewhere in Scandinavia now?
Last I remember was when he was in Japan. He is at Odense, which I believe is Denmark. Yeah.
Denmark.
9 in 25, actually, so not terrible.
Yeah.
Although I've heard Kashiwa Reysol won in 21.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, and he's only just.
I'll tell you what, when a World Cup rocks up, everyone just thinks, I'll have a go at this.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I've also realised that my laptop is now also being weird and probably trying to die quite soon. So yeah, just overall level compared to where you were, let's say, at the last international break.
When was the last international break? Is that like November?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I was massively confident then either.
No. For what it's worth,
did the good form come after that?
Yeah. The bookies, obviously, Burnley and Wolves are both like 200 on. Then it's West Ham even money, Spurs 11-8, Forest 11-2, us 7-1. I feel like 7-1 is a bit on the big side, but they are right that we should be in a. That we've still got Burnley and Wolves at home, which is what's throwing the odds so big, isn't it?
And Spurs away, which seems to be.
Statistically is about the easiest game in the league. I don't think it will be, but statistically it is because they've won 2 games in 2 years.
Yeah, they're not doing so well at home. I mean, they're not doing well at all, but they have a dreadful home record. So I think we'll do it because I genuinely think I genuinely think we're not going to lose enough of those games that are left. I don't think we're going to win many of them.
Well, with 33 from 31, how many points do you think we'll need from 7 games?
I would say you're probably looking at 8 or 9 points now. I think a couple of wins and a couple of draws.
Have you come round to my thing? Of you're going to need like 41 this season?
Yeah,
because I've been for ages. It's going to be weirdly high.
I think the thing I'm still struggling with is you look at the teams below now. That was like Forest. It's a very good win for them, but that is the first win for Vitor Pereira, so that's 1 in 5 for him. Spurs, no wins in years.
Yeah.
West Ham are the most in form. But like I said, they won. Todibo had to pull out injured late on Sunday for them, which made them change their shape. They're without Somerville, who, if he's not the top goal scorer, must be second for them.
Yeah, it's probably Bowen because he's been decent all season, whereas Somerville's been good second half of the season.
Yeah. But you are expecting these clubs to hit a level of form, like to stay up, to hit a level of form that they've not reached all year.
Yeah.
As opposed to us, who've just drawn every game since about January.
Yeah.
We really looked at that point per game metric and went, yeah, just keep drawing games now. We'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. But if we could beat Man United in a couple of weeks' time, that would be great.
Yeah. I was just checking because I wasn't 100% sure. When we play the FA Cup quarterfinals, there are no Premier League games. So they've got, like, a lot of those teams don't play now till like the 11th of April.
Yeah.
So we will have a look closer to the time because everything could be out of date.
No, let's predict the West Ham team now.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a result at West Ham. But I'd say we'll talk about that in the build-up to it. But yeah, right now, I'd have to say that I think we stay up. But I'm just really hoping we don't do out stupid against Burnley. And like, you should win both of those games at home. But you have to win. Like, you need if you get a minimum of 4, then we're in a position that we should be okay. But it just has that dominate the game and get beat 1-0 written all over it.
I think the issue I have with it is that you look at these last couple of games with Sunderland, Palace, Brentford, and that if you'd won just one of those, it takes a lot of pressure off those two. Whereas I think, realistically, if we go to Old Trafford and lose, which statistically speaking is a likely outcome, we very rarely get anything from Old Trafford. All of a sudden, and other teams pick up points, they then become quite high pressure games.
There's a very real chance that we're 1 point clear after that game.
Yeah.
And you score that penalty at Palace, or you just nick one on Saturday.
Yeah.
You just settled. And it is going to be one of them. I mean, like, you know what Leeds fans are like. We could be 3 points clear of West Ham and 12 goals clear going into a game at West Ham on the final day. And we'd be going, we'll get beat 7-0 and get relegated.
Yeah.
That is just what happened. So, yeah, that will do us for episode 355 of the Mike Rights podcast. We've done well to get half an hour out of that, considering how shit that game was and how little happened. We'll be back after the international break, but I don't know whether we'll leave it until like a couple of days before the game, like Farkas press conference and stuff. It depends how work works out and stuff like that. But I've been Jack, see ya.